Que pasa? I skipped my annual Happy Birthday America message. I have a lot of irons in the fire and had to take care of some things, including a shaving of the beard. It was 111 in Oklahoma earlier this week. Kind of buzzed it a couple weeks ago, maybe. I think this is a week's worth, something like that. So, like I said, I missed the birthday. Happy MAGA month. This will be forever known as MAGA month from now on. A few things have happened in politics that are astounding. And first, this is July 21st. If I haven't stated before, Jerry Nadler looks like Filbert from Rocko's Modern Life. I can't unsee it. I hope you don't either. This man should be mocked, ridiculed, made fun of, and pointed and laughed at for the rest of his life, simply for looking like Filbert. Other than he's one of those, take me seriously, I'm in charge. Yeah, he's one of those. So anyway, a lot of things I've watched in the last month. Let me pull that back up. So let's review a couple. Well, there's a big list. First of all, Happy Birthday, America. Turn. If I have not, I think I've reviewed that already. Turn is the story of the American Revolution, a few people that may or may not have actually existed, and I highly recommend it. The way they pull off espionage back then, the disappearing ink and the messages written in boiled eggs. The use of one of the first submarines, that was pretty cool. The invention of the timed bomb. Yeah, that's a great show. Absolutely fantastic. What else did I watch? I finished Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you're into that sort of thing, if you're into the Evil Dead series and the body gore comedy, it's on Prime. Let's see, Outlander. Outlander's awesome. I would never have bothered to watch Outlander if my wife didn't get me into it. My brother and sister-in-law had been, building that up for a while, and they talked it up, and I just kind of ignored it because of historical and hokey love scenes type of stuff. And then you get older and you're like, yeah, you know what, this stuff isn't so bad. Especially when the entire story kind of like shares a fence line with American history. Scottish history is American history. The Scots became Americanized. And I've heard the Kilted One talk about that often. The American spirit is just, no. I don't care what you tell me to do, no. You could tell me to brush my teeth 3 times a day. I'm just not going to do it because you told me to. If I wanted to do it, fine. But government's telling me to do it, and no, I won't. It's not going to happen. Even if it's for my benefit, I don't care. You're not. You're trying to be imperious, and I don't like that. So Outlander, yeah, there's romance to it, and there's the time travel sci-fi element type of thing, or fantasy. But it starts off in 1845, and now I think we're butting right up against the American Revolution. Like there is this war that everybody is very familiar with in modern times. Like this war had to happen, but we're seeing it from the perspective of the people who haven't lived it yet, and it's that's getting really cool. Let's see, what are my other Outlander? Cloak and Dagger. You could leave it, really. I would say take it or leave it, but just leave it. It's right before Disney bought everything. That's about what we got. It doesn't affect the overall MCU. It doesn't affect the everything is in its own little vacuum right before Disney purchased Marvel, and that's kind of how it stayed. It's not the greatest. Night Sky. Okay. I love J.K. Simmons. He's a great actor. However, pause for effect. There is this thing, like, you can tell when something is a Don Bluth film, you can tell when it's a Disney film. They have that feel. They have that style. Amazon really needs to stop this. They need to quit, pick up the pace with the shows. They have an entire season, 8 to 12 episodes of something, that takes forever to get to the point. Something that could be like a 2-hour movie, they stretch out for 8 hours so they can have these long, engaging staring contests with all of the characters. I get it. You're trying to increase the weight of this one scene, but stop, please. We get it. It's 2022. I can tell when I'm supposed to feel a certain way about a scene. When that type of thing bugs me, and they did it for Night Sky, and they also did it for Outer Range. They just took scenes way too long to tell a story. Show don't tell, but you don't have to show that much. It ended on a cliffhanger for the season. Night Sky's alright. Night Sky's on Prime. See, Outlander is Outlander's on Prime and Netflix now. Cloak and Dagger's on Hulu. I forgot to mention that. So, Nightfall, the story of the Paladins, the Knights Templar. It's pretty cool. Kind of the story of Friday the 13th. That's the whole thing. That's on Netflix, I believe. The Ranch is also on Netflix. That's pretty decent. Well, it's not decent at all. If you can stand the cussing, and I'm actually surprised that Sam Elliott even swears at all. So that was a big shock to me. The first couple episodes. Sam Elliott plays a grumpy old man in a show starring Ashton Kutcher about a ranch. Well, Ashton Kutcher and the guy that played Hyde in that 70s show. So I don't know if they did this like on purpose, but they took that 70s show, like the whole cast minus like Donna and Eric, and moved them over to the ranch and recast them. So all of those actors are, for the most part, are in this show. That's on Netflix. Okay, and the I guess I'll go with the MAGA month content. Reacher is awesome on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen that already, Amazon's doing a good job with those. Slightly pro-American. What some critics have started calling right-wing revenge porn or vendetta porn. I don't know. I thought it was good, and back in the day, it would have been called like left-wing socialist propaganda for being too pro-military, and now it's right-wing propaganda. Whatever. Or it would have been hippie propaganda because it was anti-military. Same with Terminal List. But Reacher's a whole lot. I tell you what, it's okay. Tom Cruise, I can believe, is a pilot. 100% Maverick. I believe that because he's the wiry, short, skinny guy. I served with a lot of people who had call signs like Frodo and Hobbit and Bilbo. I believe there was a Gollum and a Smeagol based on their body type. They got those call signs by their body type. So, I totally believe that Tom Cruise is a pilot. I cannot believe that Tom Cruise is a 6'6" wall of muscle that's supposed to be intimidating enough that most people won't mess with him. But this actor in Reacher, I can totally, I buy it. I totally buy it. He's like the size of, supposed to be the size of the Luther character in what is that? The Umbrella Academy. By the way, Umbrella Academy, I finished that up this month too. They took so much time out of the show to just like cram in your face that this person is absolutely not a woman. And Gary from Nerdrotica has brought that up. I'm going blank on names. The necromancer. Okay, so he's bi or gay or something. It's just totally irrelevant to the power set. It kind of makes sense for all the crap that he's been through and the crazy journey and all the stupid, the weird stuff he's been through. So, yeah, okay, cool. That's inconsequential. Whatever. He likes the taste of man. Whatever. He has this awesome necromancer power. That's pretty cool. The 10-year-old boy that is trying to pretend to be male, I don't believe it for a second. I'm sorry, I don't. And I don't know. I cannot suspend my disbelief long enough to say that Vanya is named Victor now, after this person has lived most of their life as the opposite sex. I can't suspend my disbelief. If we're gonna do that, then hey, that is the most pathetic example of a man I've ever seen. And shame on you, straight white male, for taking a role away from a woman. Next, what else did I watch? The Terminal List. Yeah, Terminal List. I'd say it's better than Reacher, only because I haven't read the book, really. Gary's read the book. I appreciate that movie so much. And the whole thing with the brain... this is full spoilers, by the way. If you haven't already seen it, turn it off. With the Terminal List, I can totally see them changing the one thing they would have changed is this company, this pharmaceutical company that created a anti-PTSD drug. It gave everyone tumors. I could see that changed as like the military was forcing COVID vaccines and they all gave everyone brain tumors, so now we had to kill everyone to cover it up. That would have been crazy, because I'm pretty certain that's what's going on now. Demonetize this video, I really don't care, but forcing drugs onto people, yeah, that's kind of what it's kind of what the Nazis went to prison for and were hung for, or hanged, whatever the term for, proper term for it, executed. Most, what was that guy's name? Mengele, the Angel of Death. Wasn't he tried for war crimes over some of the same stuff? Like, hey, we're going to inject things into people that either we don't know is going to happen or we do know is going to happen. Either way, it's torture and criminal, and then we have to cover it up real quick. I can totally see that, because I'm fairly certain it happened while I was on active duty. They give you that giant butt shot, the peanut butter shot, stinking goose egg for the rest of the day. I appreciate the gunfights, the gunplay, man. I assume the whoever was in charge of counting the rounds, even if I lost count, there were times when it wasn't just a constant hailfire, belt-fed weapon, infinite ammunition cheat code. They actually ran out of ammunition. They pop, 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 click. Oh, change mags. Hold on a second. I'm out. I'm gonna finagle this. Awesome. I appreciate that. And I don't know if they got the same people that did John Wick or what, but man, kudos for the action scenes. There are a couple of times where you have to suspend your disbelief, like what was stated last night on or earlier this week. Gary said something about the rock slide scene. That was silly. Everybody would have died if they didn't die from the explosion, the concussion of the explosion, being that close to the explosion. C4 is very serious putty. It's not silly putty. It's serious putty, and that explosion would have killed everybody. When you bury C4, anything that's on top of that C4 that's not that's rock, all of a sudden you turn your C4 from an explosive to a claymore, and now you have projectiles going across every possible direction over an open plain, and anyone in that path is going to immediately become protein-based Swiss cheese and assume room temperature at the earliest possible convenience. So that scene, yeah, but I get it, but for the most part, that show was really good. Apparently they're going to do a second season. I don't know. I hope to God they do. This is a really good show, and I appreciate it. It does a great service to military members, and flips the bird to most of the command structure in the Navy. Yes, but where did my notes go? What was the other show? Oh, I just finished it today. The first season of The Old Man. That's on Hulu. Whoa! It's kind of in the same vein as the Bob Odenkirk Nobody. It's kind of in the same vein as Nobody. Yeah, there's some prior service stuff in the past of these characters that exist. Imagine a cross between Nobody and John Wick, or maybe Reacher and Nobody, but But instead of Reacher, an intimidating person, we have Jeff Bridges, which he a couple of times he plays it off where, oh, I'm just an old man, I don't think I'll make it. Elbow to the face. He plays that role very well. He and is it John Lithgow? Let me look that up. I think it's John Lithgow. They both do a very fantastic job. The spoilers. The story is it's Jeff Bridges. Did I say Jeff Bridges? Yeah. So Jeff Bridges, he's a former CIA operative who handled Afghanistan, or a tribe in Afghanistan that I'm trying to compound it. So his job in Afghanistan during the first run, where we officially, unofficially funded the locals to take down the Russians, and I say we, the American government, with plausible deniability. He befriends a warlord, and kind of sort of accidentally falls in love with the warlord's wife, and they escape from, I guess it would be the Mujahideen then. They escape. They make it to the United States. He did some things that he was not supposed to do involving that war, so he had to go under a new identity, and so did she, and they lived out their lives with aliases, and John Lithgow was his buddy that helped him out, but he had to have plausible deniability in order for his career to further, so he kind of, they make this go away 30 years ago, and now everything's coming back up because of some minor slip up that happened, and now he's Jeff Bridges is on the run, and John Lithgow's chasing. Is kind of a cat and mouse deal. This innocent bystander's involved. Jeff Bridges' daughter is involved, and that was a big reveal in like the third episode. It's a big freaking deal. All of this is kind of, I'm not sure where it's going yet. By the end, there's a kind of unreliable narration and an unlikely team up, a couple of unlikely team ups. Some things are happening, and now second episode's supposed to hit in a little bit. And I really like that show. It's not as pro-military as Reacher or Terminal List, but it's just a really good story. CIA cover-ups, espionage, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that we could pontificate and can't say for certain, but it's possible that there is or are several documents supporting the claims that they make in the show. And that's the thing, the type of stuff that I heard while I was in Afghanistan. That apparently there are several mineral mines in Afghanistan that nobody can seem to find, and if they did find it, they would become Emperor of Afghanistan. And that's kind of where the show goes. Is the Jeff Bridges in the past should have not intervened, because his intervention could have really screwed things up for the whole of Afghani people, and that's what the wife didn't really want, and that's one reason why they escaped. That's one reason why she deuced out and shacked up with Jeff Bridges. Anyway, it's a long enough video for today. I'm gonna, I guess, get ready for work or some silly thing like that. Check out those if you want to be entertained. Sniper Elite 5 is also taking up a lot of my time. That's also a good one. Deuces.